The Delta Force open beta is in full swing, and hopefully you guys have gotten a chance to try it. What's up guys, it's Rich, and in today's video we're going to talk about some Delta Force open beta and the early access, and from the alpha, some important information that's came to light from the developers and from myself from playing the game and from other creators. Gotten some of this information and kind of summarized it today, and hopefully you guys get a good glimpse of what's to come and what's out there right now for us to play. I want to start by saying the early alpha was a very exciting time for me with this game. Along with a lot of us, alpha was an amazing time that we had a chance to access this game for the first time, and it did not disappoint. This game absolutely hooked me on, and I had some of the most fun playing the Delta Force alpha I've had in a long time playing any video game and or shooter. However, I know a lot of players didn't get a chance to play, so there was a lot of players waiting for the open beta, which was one of the downsides of the alpha being so closed and limited, that I had the opportunity, because as a content creator, of course, I had the opportunity to play it, and some of you guys did through Twitch drops and key giveaways. But I know a big majority didn't get to play and were waiting for the open beta, which is what we're going to be discussing today. I was really excited for Delta Force coming into the open beta. I was super excited to continue with this game. I was so sad that it had been gone for such a long time, and I was fiending for it. It had been a little bit since I played, and I was ready for more content and more stuff to come in here and just hop back in with the mechanics and the gameplay loop of Delta Force, which I absolutely love. However, with all of that, I actually got kind of let down by the open beta. And when I say that, I mean that the open beta is very similar to the alpha version, if not the same exact build. You have the same maps on both the Havoc Warfare and Tactical Turmoil, nothing really new there. There's no real content for the alpha players, different than the, the alpha that we had from the beta. You have the same maps on both the Havoc Warfare and Tactical Turmoil. There is no real content for the alpha players that already experienced all that stuff, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, of course, because when a game releases, you have a set amount of content. However, I did feel like I was a little burnt out from how many hours I had put in the alpha, whether that's my problem or the fact that I just played the game so much because I loved it. It could be a different amount of things, right? So it just seemed to me that the alpha didn't have any new systems, new changes, and stuff that we had experienced in the alpha and we gave some feedback on. It seems like the open beta was more of just a obviously open beta for more players to try in. Nothing really changed from the alpha to the beta, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? The main thing they aimed to accomplish with this was to get more players in there that didn't have a chance to play the early alpha and have a chance to try their server loadout with more players than they really ever did from the alpha versions. As some of you may be aware, the version in China is the early access build with more maps and more content, and you can see some content creators playing that right now, I believe. But the early access build is officially live in China. It's been live for a little bit now, but they have the official version of the game, not the same version as the open beta. It's actually two different builds that they have out right now. They stated they really just wanted to give more players the chance to experience the game. That was the biggest thing from the open beta to the early alpha, is that the limit, obviously there's a cap of players that could play with the early alpha with certain keys and keys giveaways. The open beta is obviously available for everybody to play, and that was their main focus with this. They've said it on Twitter posts and replies, and this is what they've obviously gone for, and I respect that and I totally understand that. Early access is still slated for Q4 of 2024 for PC players and Q1 of 2025 for the full release and console release for my other gamers. Also, please don't take this as a negative review of the beta, because it's still great. I really have high hopes for Delta Force as one of the top FPS games that is going to be available for us to play. Of course, I didn't want to see the game with new features and optimizations unless bots in the game is one of the main complaints with the beta going out to players. However, we got the same product as the alpha, and again, that necessarily might not be a fault of the developers. It kind of maybe just a fault that I had obviously played so many hours in the early alpha, but that's obviously I wanted to get as much information in for you guys and provide obviously a clearer cut picture of what the game might be. What that says, though, is that we're going to have to wait till early access to really get more juicy content trial for Delta Force and see some of these new maps, new weapons, new modes, all that stuff coming in. There is a decent amount of stuff in the open beta right now for you to try, but obviously when we get to the early access state of the game, we're talking about a lot more of that stuff coming into play. With all that being said, I hope you guys who have played the beta have had a fun experience with it, have enjoyed it, and have a really good, feedback and understanding of the game. Curious, though, if you guys have had any issues or things that you would like to be addressed from the beta, I want to see those down below in the comments, guys. Let me know if you guys have enjoyed the game. Maybe not as much as you thought you would, or that they have, but there's some issues you want to see addressed. Let me know down below in the comments, and I'll make sure I share that, obviously, with the developers. And again, I don't want people to obviously take away from trying the open beta, because I definitely think it's fun. I don't want to change people's opinions of it because of my own fault of obviously putting in so many hours in the alpha. And obviously I don't think it's a fault as much as obviously we know where we stand with the alpha and the beta. I just want people to be, realistic of what to expect if they play the alpha, then the beta, and where we're at with early access. Obviously we don't have set dates yet, we have quarters, but it's a good thing that we at least know when to look forward towards this stuff coming out. For now, I will keep monitoring Delta Force and see if there's any juicy content updates we get before early access. But obviously I think we're just gonna keep probably from open betas when we're gonna jump into early access, which I imagine isn't too far away. I bet they just really want to test their servers, and there's gonna be a couple changes, decent amount of changes, excuse me, when we launch into early access. And obviously I'll obviously cover all of that stuff, so make sure you guys stay subbed for more updates on Delta Force as it comes out. And this is, if we see more stuff on socials, I'll make sure to cover it for you guys, whether on a video or a short form. So I want you guys to be aware that I am definitely not going to just move on from this game, but we're going to have to, be a little bit more patient with the terms of content and what's coming out with the game down the line. Also, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, a like would be amazing. If not, a dislike would be understandable. Again, guys, I am mega excited for this game, and I do love it. And I don't want this video to be like a negative video or anything like that, because Delta Force has been the most fun FPS I've played, and it will become the most fun FPS I will play in probably 2025. I can't wait to see where this game goes, and I'm so excited to see where the devs take it with early access and the official release. All right, guys, hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Again, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.